So welcome back to me, welcome back to Thailand, to Blue Thai here in Thailand. I hope you're doing well. It is game day. There's one put here in Thailand, and which means it's game day. For instance, it will be game day 2 a.m. in the morning for me. But I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff in the UK, 9 o'clock in Monaco, and we're playing in the Champions League. It's our second game against Monaco away, and it's going to be an interesting game. It really is, and seeing how they go. I believe they have Pep Bernado playing for them at the moment, but I don't think he's fit enough to actually play the game. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well. So the weather in Thailand, etc., was beautiful today for running, and I went out for running because it was raining. It was about 25 degrees and raining, and I went out for a rain. And you know me, for instance, I've had a problem with my calf, and what's it called? But it's been getting better. And I went out for a few small runs, and for instance, I've had no problems at all. And then today, guess what I do? Because I'm a man. The reason why, because I'm a man, I'm stupid. Because what happens is, it was raining, and for instance, I felt strong, and I didn't feel any kind of, because there was no heat on me, the sun wasn't on me. So I decided to run a bit further, and then I ran a bit further, and then I ran a bit further, and guess what? Bang goes my calf. Yes, I've overdone my calf, and I've got massive pain in my calf now. Well, it's not too bad, so I can feel the pain, but I certainly can't run. So I've just messed up. I should have done my usual run route, etc. For instance, but I didn't, and for instance, and it was quiet as a mouse out there today. It really was. There was nobody, no phalanx walking around without t-shirts and with sunglasses on and pretending they are something special. Nobody at all. Nobody with no phalanx running around without t-shirts. Look at me, look at me, look at me, because it was raining. And I think it was me and two older men. Other than that was the only people running. But never mind. So up to them. So that's that. So yeah. So now I'm injured now, for instance, which is really, really going to upset me very much because I really enjoy my running. And but I did go swimming as well, and I was the only one in the sea as per usual. But it was lovely. It was hot, cold, weird. Anyway, but I hope you're doing well. So it's game day, for instance, and we've heard from Pep Guardiola, and we've heard from Bernardo Silva. And Captain Bernardo Silva, I think he's doing a bang-up job. I think and he speaks very, very smartly as well. So I'm really, really pleased about him being the captain. I think everybody was a bit on the shelf with him in the beginning, etc. But I think he's doing an amazing job. I think it's going to be a great job. A captain this season. I believe, for instance, in my personal opinion, is it his last season? He was asked about his future, for instance, in his press conference. I wouldn't say he dodged the bullet, but he just said, he doesn't want to talk about this right now. But my personal opinion, I think it's his last season at City, and I think he'll be going to Benfica, for instance, or back to Portugal somewhere in some capacity. People talk about Saudi Arabia. I don't think he's got. That's not his. In his end of contract, etc. Even though I'm sure Pep Guardiola would like him to stay for one more season, I think his heart's set on the fact that he's returning back to Portugal, which was always the plan at the end of his contract. We saw the training as well, and we saw two new faces in the training. A familiar face, etc., but a new face in training with Ryan Cherky training, etc. This mysterious illness he's had, or this issue, for instance, which has got muscle injury, which is suddenly we are expecting back in November. Everybody was saying 2 months. And there he was training. So, and it was wonderful for us to see him training. And but I don't. But he was not on part of the 21, which went out on G-Sword today, the 737, private 737. And Erling Haaland gave that away because he's now finally got a new mate to sit next to in Donnarumma, because he normally sits next to Jack Grealish. And I think he was missing Jack Grealish a lot, for instance, but he's now sitting next to Donnarumma and Gio, and him was sat together on the plane going off to Monaco. For instance, so there was even Pep Guardiola said in his press conference Ryan Turkey, for instance, will not be in the for instance in the 21 going out to, because he's just come back, which is only very smart, etc. For instance, you've got to kind of like for instance, give him time, etc., to do his, to get to heal. And again, that was one of the biggest problems last season, is that we were rushing players back who were injured and then playing injured, and of course they got injured again. So it was very, very easy to do. So, anyway, so. Right, so also the other person, for instance, who was there was Rodri, and Rodri, for instance, was also in the, for instance, back training, yes, I believe, because there was this big scare, and I think he'll always have that as well with his ACL, with his knee recovery, with his from the ACL, and I think a lot of people went over the TT, the media, and people were talking too much. I know Johnny put out a video saying about it, and but I don't think you can go. I think Roger will always going to have this. He's been out for a year. You need the rehabilitation. Me personally, I know as a person, for instance, who knows that you need time on your, for instance, you need your time to get fully fit, etc. And that's what I have not done. I've done probably what Rodri's done, which is overexerted myself, etc. And that's the reason why I'm in where I am. So, it is. Yeah, we're both stupid. So, but he's. I think he played for Spain. Then he played again. We played against the Rags after coming back, and I played against Napoli, and then he played against Arsenal. And I think, for instance, those 3 games kind of overexerted his knee and he was getting pain in his knee, which is natural, I believe, on recovery of an ACL. And so he's now. But it was so he was out for the the win over Burnley, but now, and he didn't play against Forest. Huddersfield, not Forest, Huddersfield. But he was I believe he's okay now. So but I think he, as Pep Guardiola said, he's probably going to take a few days. So he can't play every 3 games. It's going to take some time to. You've got to build up your fitness. I'm sure he was already a fit man, but you still got to build that match fitness out. And also, for instance, you still got to build. He's got to start using reconstructing his knee, for instance, again. So I think a lot of people were kind of way going over TT about his is he finished now? And I think for me, he will always have that issue. Until he gets completely fully fit and back up to into his levels, and and then unlike me and me and him, etc. For instance, we both kind of been a bit stupid with our did too much. Anyway, so let me just go through. So Man City came through the battering of their battering of Burnley with no concerns of fitness in front. But the necessary injury plague. Rodri missed the Premier League. We're saying again, this is how the media injury plague. Oh, come on. Due to knee concerns and touch to go against Monaco. So at the time of writing, this person, etc., finds out it's not correctly rude. I like this reading from this because they do a good job, etc. But for instance, I think that's a bit OTT. Guardiola is expected to will be out with that Kuzinov ankle, Ryan Ignori unspecified ankle, I believe also, and Mamouche knee for a little while longer too. Good, with Ryan Cherky thigh injury unlikely to fully heal until November. Wrong again, he'll be back. Again, God, just getting a few things wrong here. Banking 2 goals and assists at the weekend. Talisman Haaland will now be playing his 50th Champions League game on Wednesday night with an outstanding 50 strikes from 49 matches so far. Incredible, absolutely incredible. He's also has already broken the record for the most competitive goals in players' first half century of appearances. As for Monaco, all eyes on whether Paul Pogba will be considered fit enough for a dream debut against Manchester City. Not going to happen, I believe. But the former rag linchpin is likely to still have to be a couple of weeks away from being fully match ready. Hunter is also managing without the manager. Is manager out with Lamin Kaman at ankle, Dennis Zergo groin, Alexander Corbin hamstring, Ali Bamba unspecified, and number one goalkeeper Luca Hendrick knee. But care sending off at the weekend means nothing for him for his Champions League ability. Thanks to another incongruous strike again the weekend, Barcelona's Loni Fati already boasts an eye-catching 4-goal free substitute appearances for Monaco, and his first start on Wednesday is not beyond the realm of possibility. Okay. Monaco's possible starting lineup: Con, Vanderson, Der, Kerr, Henrik, Aucucci, Koulibaly, Tez, Fati, Boygun, Perez. Okay, so that's what they expect Monaco to be starting lineup. City's expected starting lineup with Donnarumma, Nunes, Stones, Guardiola, O'Reilly, Gonzalez, Rodri, or maybe Rodri on the bench, possibly. Bob Silva, Reinders, Doku, and Haaland. I think most important thing we probably want Reinders for instance, for the weekend's game against the weekend's game against Brentford. So I think it'll be bad. So they're expecting a Man City win. So they're what's it called? Their league form, Monaco. They've the last 6 they've won 3, lost 3. So they're a bit up and down. I believe when they're good, they're good, and when they're bad, they're bad. City's last 6 won 4, drew 1 Arsenal, and lost 1 Spurs. So so we're on a bit of a winning streak. We're on a 4-match winning streak basically, and a draw against Arsenal, unbeaten in 5, should I say, more than anything else. Speaking in the Champions League, last 4, Monaco left Belgium battered because they got beaten. What was it, 4-1? Bruised match day 1 on the Adi Footly defence was caved open by clinical Club Brugge side. Club Brugge, they're half decent team on the day, so for instance, first half horror show from Monaco. So Magnus Atucci 10th minute penalty save by Simon Mignola, and Club Brugge scored 3 times without reply before erasing any shared doubt about the result with a fabulous 4th in the 75th minute. Azu Fati injury time effort was a little consolation for the League 1 outfit, who have now lost 5 of the last 7 matches in Europe top competitions, and are already plummeted to the 31st in the table, notwithstanding meant so much at present though. The chaos has continued for Les Muscat in their 2 matches since, both of their benefits and deterrent degrees, as Monaco followed up with a 5-2 League 1 thrashing at Metz, with crushing 3-1 to Lewis on Saturday, where Telerosa first half red card proven costly, as Monaco now shared the staggering 24 goals across the last 4 or 5 games at an average of nearly 5 per match. A repeat of the 2016-27 thriller with Manchester City certainly not off the cards. Exactly, because the last time we played Monaco, I remember with Bernardo Silva, but they had an amazing team at the time. I was there, hell of a game. I didn't expect them to play so well, but they ended up knocking City out, for instance, over the 2 legs. but it was at the Etihad, etc. For instance, hell of a game, etc. For instance, but City clawed it back to win and went over to Monaco, etc. And was good in that. But they were Bernado Silva. They had a hell of a great team. So overall, I think it's going to be an interesting game. For instance, I do fancy City to win the game. For instance, let me just have a quick chance. Pep Guardiola, for instance, was talking. But let's see what Bernardo also had to say. He says, my job now is now to try to create the energy. That chemistry is back. The chemistry is back as a group of captains. So people behave in the right way in training, in games, have early and on-time training, train with properly in good condition. I'm trying to be the best Man City captain and work closely with the team. He was replying to a quote by Vincent Kompany, for instance, who will talk about him because he was always a bit of a class clown. He was always to get picked on as well because they'd been quite small, Bernardo Silva. But he said he's quite happy for his to be the clown, etc. But for instance, when it comes down to the business, he's quite serious. Pep Guardiola, on his memories of playing Monaco, we joked with. It was our first game. It was a 5-3, but many things happened, especially with one person who was in the dressing room, who dressed in black, and the penalty was Sergio Aguero. Yeah, hell of a game that. But Pep Guardiola, Rodri, I can just what I just said before, and Turkey as well. What's it called? It was hopefully Bernardo, for instance. Ryan Turkey can be back for Brentford, but we'll see. He'll probably be on the bench more than expected. Other than that, for instance, I'm quite confident. Going into the game, 2 a.m. kickoff for me again. Other than that, for instance, I'm quite confident we'll get the 3 points. And for instance, I think we just got a bit too much. I think there's a good vibe in the team at the moment. We're doing very well. The men's team and the women's team. A 5-1 victory for the men, 4-1 victory for the ladies. And for instance, and I think we're clicking along, and I expect Doku to do the business in tonight, etc. I'm going for a 3-0 victory for City. Barcelona guy, for instance, Fati, for instance, could cause an issue, but I think, for instance, Man City would be too strong for Monaco. So I'm going to go for 5-2. What do you think? Do you agree with me? And for instance, for instance, are you confident about the game overall? But I think we're too good to go for that. We're saying that though, Liverpool went over to Galatasaray last night, for instance, and lost 1-0. And I was listening to a European correspondent, and he says if you're not on it, for instance, you could come unstuck. And Bodo Glimt drew 2-2 with Spurs. Right? Well, the hell of a game. So you've got to be on it with, for instance, and I think Man City will be. So I've got every confidence we'll win the game tonight, and come back from the Principality with 2 points. 3 points, and another win. So for instance, which will be excellent for us. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you. I'll speak to you after the match tomorrow, for instance, and hopefully we're celebrating another win. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you think, what's on your mind. Ask me any questions you want. Even you can ask me about Thailand if you want as well. Because again, it's a bit chilly for me today. For instance, it's been about 25 degrees. Sun's trying to come out. It's come out a bit now, for instance, but still, for instance, quite nice for this time of the year. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you. True Blue Time from Thailand. Like and subscribe. Tell me what you're thinking, and I'll speak to you tomorrow after the game.